phone number 805-775, thanks Siri, 2563. And his email is simply Cody, C-O-D-Y, @puretechwater.com.
TECH
Or PURETEC water.com, the company, PureTech, no H.
PureTechWater.com.
Correct.
Okay.
Well, we'll contact them and see what they have also.
They have a pretty vast variety of systems. They have, their cost seems to be fairly reasonable for what I have going on campus. They have, groups within engineering, groups in, they call it agriculture, groups in the college of science and math that have all taken on systems from them. So I put together a 3-year agreement with them for campus purposes, so I'm not opposed to term agreements where they're holding pricing and
That's
give
good
a
to know.
whole menu board, whatever they offer, give the pricing accordingly.
We'll give them some publicity.
Bless you.
Where are we advertising these new positions?
They're being mailed out to current operators.
Okay.
It's on a site called BC Water Jobs, which is a prevalent operator job site,
Okay.
and also on, hopefully soon to be on CRWA, which is the California Rural Water Association,
Okay.
which is also pretty widely used by operators. And then,
It's on our website, it's posted out front, it's posted at the post office.
Because I Googled San Miguel Community Services District jobs, and there's maybe one link that's to our own website, and I didn't see anything else popping up, but I also saw governmentjobs.com, and there's the city of Pasco's hiring for wastewater treatment people, Cambria's hiring too right now.
everybody's hiring.
Everybody's hiring.
So I didn't know if at some point we're gonna be looking at further out or into other avenues of.
Well, that's why we're kind of going with the mailing,
Right.
is because we know who has a certain grade license, and we're gonna send them a mailer.
So the
It's a
mailers
little
are
more
going to
expensive.
grade 3s,
2s and 3s.
2s and 3s.
Can it be listed with the licensing entities themselves?
They'll just provide
They provide a list of operators, it's the state.
and then it's up to us to send it out.
Okay, yeah.
BC Water Jobs though, that's the place, the industry standard where everybody goes.
That's where everybody looks for a job
Hmm.
in that industry.
The
Check
only
it out, see
other,
if it's on there, I think.
the other real, the other outreach kind of thing is if we signed up with governmentjobs.com, which is, a lot of agencies are part of that. I don't know what the cost is to that.
No.
Yeah, I was looking at that right
I think-
now.
From what I
Let me
remember,
know.
those kind of get lost in the mire. There's a lot of East Coast jobs. There's a lot of working on military-based jobs, and I think you kind of get lost.
You can narrow it down.
Yeah, but BC Water Jobs, it's state by state. Here's everything that we have. But I don't know if you get, I don't even know what government jobs charges, but.
Yeah, I don't know.
You can actually narrow down to a zip code area and to within 50 miles of said zip code. Last 24 hours, 7 days, 30 days, all jobs, organizations, categories, salary estimates. So do our
Last time I looked at government jobs, they still printed all the jobs were listed in a little publication that came out quarterly.
The
Let me see
recycler?
Let me know.
Like that,
Price.
yeah.
Okay. And I see
Some of them are
these.
pretty
You probably don't know
skinny.
what that is.
I see BC Water Jobs on the front page, but there's like, what, 5 pages here? Which a lot of people are hiring.
Okay, I just put it in yesterday, so,
No.
and that's a cheap one.
Yeah.
Print it, we'll print it plastic.
Well, most likely if we get applicants, assuming that they're quality applicants and they're not willing to work for what we're offering, then it'd be coming back to the board for approval for additional funds, or to hire them outside of the step 1.
Right. Okay.
Any other board comment?
Yeah, I have a couple questions. Any update on the homeowners association with the town contact?
So, that's quite the mess.
Oh,
For some reason, people started getting a hold of me.
Yeah, so the first person that we contacted that was given to us by the homeowner association was former Director Dawes, who was obviously not their president anymore. Then we got to another person who is no longer the president anymore.
He quit in this process.
So we're trying the third person. They still have a meeting in January, so we're still aiming to take something to them in January. But we're trying to get actual contact with a live person.
We
And
just got
that's
updated
proving
on it
quite
today.
difficult. So we'll keep on that.
Are they required to have a homeowners
Yes.
association?
That development was set up with the homeowner association, so unless they decide to vote it out of existence, it's like this board, they're around until somebody votes it out.
Well, there's one other option, we don't wanna go down there.
Yeah.
What about, contacting Caltrans?
That's not Caltrans'
It's not,
grantings, it's the contractors, and I have their contact information courtesy of Caltrans. But I haven't had time to talk to them yet.
It's
okay,
So the engineer from Caltrans said that most likely they're gonna try to sell it, so they don't have to haul it away. But
right?
if they will have to take it away, so I'm just trying to get time to call the guy.
Yeah, so if they can't sell it and they have to haul it away, we have a great place for it. So, we should probably stay on top of that, because it's gonna go away
Yeah.
pretty quickly now.
It's actually been a really busy week, so it's on my list. It's just haven't gotten.
So, if you're not familiar, there's a pile of grindings on the middle of the freeway. We've been trying to see if we can obtain some to reinforce that road up to the water tank there. Try to widen it a little bit. So we would have to be kind of poised to do something with the drainage like right away if they wanted to start hauling it up there.
Well, I mean, I think we have a little bit of time.
Right.
But if I can get a hold of them and they're willing to sell it to us, then we have to come back to the board for the money to buy it.
Well, I was
If
kind of
they're
hoping
willing to
that
give it to us, then we have to come back to the board for the money to put it in.
Right.
And it's not as simple as just dumping it there.
No,
There would have to be an environmental report, we'd have to have a contract with somebody to haul it.
to widen that?
Yeah. We live in kid fox habitat.
You have to control runoff too, right?
Well, there's a drain at the bottom,
Right.
which isn't an issue, we can extend the drain. It's just a matter of that particular piece, I think, is still Caltrans property. So we would have to jump through all Caltrans hoops to do that.
We know a guy for that job.
And, I mean, they may be pretty lenient because they just tore up the whole freeway,
Right.
but
And
we'd
it's
still
their
have
road.
to go through their process.
It'd be nice to get material on the cheap.
But if
Yeah,
we can
but-
get it for free, then that would obviously be the best option.
But the problem is now we have a timeline that isn't gonna match up.
But at the same time, if we start down this road, they're willing to sell it to us, then I can talk to the engineers from Caltrans and get an extension
Right.
to move it.
What's it considered? Is it like class 2 road based or what is it?
Yeah, it would be a stretch to call it class 2.
Yeah.
Not so much fines as class 2 would have?
It's got a lot more dirt than it should have.
Okay,
But
okay.
it would work for what we're looking for.
Okay.
I would like to get, if we direct staff to move forward with trying to jump through the hoops from Caltrans in anticipation of our being able to obtain some of the.
I support that.
That's where it's,
Anybody else?
Yeah.
All right, we can get consensus.
Well, I have an answer on those job costs.
Yeah, what do you got?
$175 for a single job post, for 5 posts is $600.
How long?
Up to 60 days.
That's not bad. Shoot me that link, will you?
Okay.
Thank you.
Any other board comment?
Just had a question on the repair made to the irrigation along Mission Street. The chamber said they had a grant. When is that grant over?
It expired, well,
Yeah.
theoretically it expires June 31st.
Understood.
I have a note on the N Street property, had an informal conversation with Supervisor Pashon, and he indicated that, well, first of all, was inquiring that we were still interested in the property. I said, of course we are. And he said he's doing everything that he can to get us that property at a reasonable price, minimal price, is what he said. So we still have an ally in that fight, and I don't know how that will help us, if it will help us, but
Still a tiny little ray of hope.
yeah, shred. That's all I have.
Thank you.
Any public comment on the Director of Utilities report? No. You have something else, Director Collins?
Has the Darsh County reached out to you yet about their January presentation or their New Year presentation?
Oh, yeah.
Okay. I saw on the news that Los Osos jacked up their garbage rates by 25%.
Oh my gosh.
Something about the fact that our recycling practices are unsustainable because China will accept our trash. And we gotta deal with it ourselves.
That will be a problem.
All right, without further comment, Fire Chief's report.
The fire chief's report is written, two things. We attached notification for applications and accepting people to apply for positions here at for volunteers at the department. Once we get a field of applicants, we will screen them, review them, see who's a candidate, contact them. Anticipate that being at the end of January, and then there will be a training course so that they'll be usable to us. That is all to be kind of determined on who we can recruit. I'm staying right here in the district for this, and we'll do the best we can to recruit there. And moving forward from there, we'll have other options, but we're gonna wait and see how we attract from the local area first. We have two people, one who's already coming down and another one expressed interest that are in the district. Whether they stay or not will, show once they start showing up. That's our goal there. The other thing, we put on 2 CPR classes, one for the staff, one for the fire department. We're capable of doing some more. If the board is interested in taking CPR classes, we can give
When
you
will those
dates.
be happening?
Right here, and we can,
When?
Schedule.
we would work a schedule to fit the need.
Okay.
So it's not like there's a date and you gotta go change your life to attend it.
I'd be interested, so.
Okay, yeah, and the ideal is to have 49 students, makes it the best.
Is this responder CPR or is it like?
Yeah, it's, American Heart Association applied a whole bunch of names and created a whole bunch of curriculum for the same thing. What we're doing is care provider, but it's the same as you learned when it was CPR, where you're doing the compressions and then we take you from the layperson into the provider, into the responder. So you get all of it.
AED training as well, right?
It does have AED training, and that's part on our agenda. I'll let Scott address that. He put together a report and got information for us, so I don't want to steal his thunder. But there will be an AED in the facility here, and they will have one also at the sewer plant available. And the one here, staff would be using if there was, say, a drive up and nobody else is around to get that immediate need. So we were able to work it out where we were able to get one for the structure itself, plus the other responsibilities.
Excellent.
Unless you have any other questions, that's my answer.
Any questions from the board?
And then if you have any questions, I know Scott Young attached supplemental. We have an ER reporting system. It's really cool. It tracks
Just for daily
information.
log?
It's in there. You have a daily log. That's part of it. And then
Does rotate the due, unfortunately.
he'll be able to explain more of that to you. We use that at the prison system too, so it's something that came out. It's really good. A lot of departments have gone to it. And some of my reports, they've been this way for quite a while. And the reason I like, they just capture the information. But his reports, the system, and I use them too, but you may see some changes in the information being provided based on the ER system reports.
So is this a daily log on response, or?
Basically, just to streamline the assistant chief report, because I was putting information out there, and for whatever reason, I just decided to take a different route this month, and just basically went through the emergency reporting system, ran a report on myself, not all staff, and just attached that as a snapshot of kind of what I did for the month.
Okay.
If you have any questions on any of those items, I'd be happy to answer them for you. Unfortunately, I didn't streamline it further. I could have taken the responses out. I could pretty much make a report tailored to whatever we're looking for, as long as I input the information into the system, and I'm pretty diligent about doing that on a daily basis. Any runs, incidents are automatically populated into the daily log report, as well as whatever's inputted into it. So you could do a daily log for incidents at a particular address if you wanted to for a month, and say you have a frequency of going to this particular location. And it makes it real easy.
This reporting system has the ability to single out a vehicle or a person or a task.
So you can sort any of the data, populating any of these fields in any way you want.
Correct. So if we had a vehicle that we were performing higher than normal maintenance on and stuff, you could generate a whole report. It would show the history of everything that, of course, we put in, and we do our engine equipment checkouts. Any of that information, he has the ability to generate a report. Like you said, a single person, piece of equipment, or a task we perform. So it would gather all that individual information. So this is an example of one of those reports.
Including locations where you might be responding?
Yes.
Yes.
There's literally 1,000, if not thousands, of different reports that can be tailored to whatever. I have a whole slew of favorites that I've written or I've used, and also we're working harder to obtain the skills to do the training log better, because the training log is a very valuable tool. When we do our CPR training, I created 2 classes, one for staff, one for fire department staff, and I was able to input the information for the individuals as long as if they're in the system, they're in the system. If they're not in the system, I have a way to do that as well. And then we had it logged into the computer as far as training, who was there, how many hours did they pass, did they fail, what was the situation. So from this point forward, I'm going to do our weekly training in that format, as well as our larger academy that we plan to conduct soon.
Nice. That was my question, so seeing the new report. Thank you for the clarification and information.
It's a little broad, but I could streamline it. I just kind of went me, daily log, clicks, and
You know the board comment? Any
I have-
public comment?
I have a comment. I just wanted to thank Rob and Scott for providing our CPR training, because being here at the district office, you never know what's going to happen, and we learned a lot, and our new mannequins are really high-tech and really cool. So
Since
thank
I'm
you
the one
guys,
that's probably
really.
gonna have the heart attack, I wanna make sure you.
I do.
the nice thing about the mannequins, so we have 2 mannequins.
It's
One is
so
a
great.
CPR mannequin, so it has a Bluetooth connectivity to an iPad, and you could actually see your depth of compression, your rebound, and your rate of compression, so you could actually watch how you're performing. It also has a different program you could run, and you could do 2-person rescuer with breaths and everything, but we were just running the single person. Then we have a second mannequin that works on our Zoll trainer AED. So to answer your question, yes, we do provide AED training as a component to our CPR training. So it's a full BLS.
It's as real as you can get.
Yes, it's as real as you get. You actually have a remote control, and you could run the scenario on the AED, whether you're going to shock, not shock, and it's real time, real life.
All staff was there, and we're all, yeah.
Excellent.
Did you bring the dummy back to life?
I did. I got 99%.
Everybody did really well. The performance, we had it up on the board. I think all fire department staff was, in the 99 to 98% range. We might have had one brand new guy that was still at 95% on hands-on CPR, and then CSD staff was all the high 90 percentages. So everybody performed really well. And
You
having
just
the
don't
tools-
realize that rebound.
having the
thing is
tools to
such a
do
big
that,
deal.
really helps.
Excellent.
It's a lot harder than you think.
For 2 minutes, yeah.
We're gonna have a race in 5 minutes.
Any other public comment? All right, moving on to the consent calendar.
I'd like just to pull for discussion, I don't know, one, just to discuss it.
Okay, we'll number one for discussion.
Okay. I know, is there any other items that need to be pulled?
Anybody else have any concerns about the other items?
I think we talked about it a little bit in the past during our board handbook, and that is, what is the idea of just a staff or reserving like the second Thursday of the month for a special meeting, so we can then just kind of like mentally plan for it if we need to? I don't know, because I know sometimes when we try to plan the special meeting, because we have to discuss something, we spend a lot of time trying to figure out somebody's schedule, and somebody ends up missing it because of work or family commitments. That's
So you're not talking about our regular Thursday meeting, but
He's talking about reserving, mentally reserving the second Thursday of each month, just in case.
yeah,
For a special meeting.
yeah. As on
it being a
meeting.
special meeting, you're gonna have to decree it or like say that you know, that's what you're gonna have. You can't just put it on a calendar. You can for the regular meetings.
We can't have an internal thing that says that we're going to like just kind of prep ourselves in case of that.
Yeah, but it can't be like for this, it can't be,
This is gonna stand alone.
this has to stand, yeah, exactly, this has to stand alone. I mean, you guys can discuss it
And I'm
among
not the
yourselves
second
and
Thursday of January.
if you need it.
But it's just, I know, I don't want any board members to be missing anything that we have to discuss during a special meeting because of work or, you know,
Yeah.
I know.
You know, work's work and
Works, yes.
try our best to get you all here at the right time.
Cancel everything, show up.
That's pretty loud.
Anything else you got in there?
No, I may not be here for July 23rd, 2020 meeting. I have Comic-Con tickets.
It's more fun than this, I'm sure.
Well, you plan way out.
You have to.
You have to.
You can't get those tickets.
Yeah.
That's what
How'd you get them?
When you go in, you become a volunteer, you can sign up to be a volunteer on the interest list. As long as you maintain going as a volunteer, you can get automatically back in. If not, you have to then go back to the lottery system and be one of the lucky 140,000 people that gets a ticket.
Wow, that's a lot of people.
So
Yeah, it would be
that's like my anniversary thing.
Definitely.
San Diego.
that convention center where you know big school work.
Oh, no, it was up the street from.
And it's packed.
Yeah, but that convention center.
The entire thing is taken up. So that's all.
Give her now.
That's good advice.
Okay,
All
so.
right, so any other further discussion? We have a motion to approve the consent calendar?
I'll make a motion to approve the consent calendar.
I'll second it.
Go green.
All right.
Gowlands. All in favor?
Aye.
Anyone opposed? Anyone opposed? No. Okay, passes 5-0-0.
Board action items. Review, discuss, receive, and file the immigration and financial report for November 2019.
So, I spoke with Paula this evening. If you have any questions, I'll try to answer them. I didn't have her stay here late this evening to go over anything. If you guys have questions, I can't answer them, and I'll take them back to her, and I'm hoping I can answer them.
I reviewed it, it seems pretty clear to me. I don't have any questions. Any board comment, board questions? Nope. Any public comment? Nope. Back to the board.
Make a motion to approve.
Second.
Director Green.
Yes.
Director Calvox.
Yes.
Director Calvins.
Yes.
Director Parent.
This is the receive and file, correct?
Yes.
Yes.
President Sangster.
Yes.
Passes 5-0, no absent.
All right, moving on to item number 2. Review and approve resolution 2019-43, authorizing proposed mid-year budget adjustments to the approved fiscal year 2019-2020 budget.
So for the district, last year, we were able to complete the audits and go through a mid-year budget adjustment and in a promise and to keep with our financial responsibility and transparency. Again, this year, every department reviewed their budget based on 41% of the year being passed at the time that the budget reviewed and that the report was generated. Each department made their adjustments and was submitted there at the end of the report. One thing I wanted to make a note of, and you guys had seen it, that on the budget line 110, payroll tax expense 28,000, and in the original budget it showed that 0% to this point of the year had not been spent. And under payroll tax Medicare, and payroll tax SUI, that is the same thing. And it was separated out, so the adjustments were made there. And being at 41%, it was less than what was projected for 28,000. So the 28,000 will be gone. The money will be distributed over the funds 135, 140, 155, based on their performance and what's estimated to be at the end of the year left, remainder of some funds that could be distributed over the rest of the budget where needed.
It's all predicated on payroll totals,
Yes.
which are not constant.
And, you know, based on the numbers, based on what's taken place up to this point, because our budget's, half of it, you're looking at past performance and then object activity or subject activity. And so being that payroll last year had to have corrections made and we've been working on that, the 28,000 was an estimate. It was estimated high because it was unclear where it was going to be. But now at 41% of this year, and those items being separated out, it's going to be less than that. And again, these are all been adjusted to if they're a one-time thing or if they're an ongoing up to 41% of the year, calculating where we'll be at. That's how the adjustment was determined, to get as close to at the end of the year so that we don't have an overrun or an excessive fund that wasn't necessary to be identified. If you guys had a chance to go through this, if you have any questions, we'll try to answer them. All department staffs worked on this, and each one was reviewed. We held a couple meetings, a lot of good participation, a lot of great ideas were brought to the table, so I'm pretty happy with the fact that, before we're struggling through trying to make budget or going over budget, and the simple fact that we're seeing a recovery because of this. We're seeing basically the fruits of our labors, and we didn't want to do a rate increase, but it was something that had to happen, and there was a reason for it, and now it's showing the health that we're getting from it.
Thank you.
The only question I had was on the expense budget on 225. It says actual cost higher than projected, but the proposed is smaller than the approved. Is that supposed to be actual cost lower than projected?
Which one are you looking at?
225 expense fund wastewater.
And what
Page
page?
3 of 5?
Page number, I'm sorry?
Oh, sorry. 305 and then 405.
So
225.
page 67. 67?
Retirement purse expense,
So the
225?
the current
Yeah, that's
proposed.
just a typo. Should be
Where at?
It should, so it should be lower.
Yeah.
There's one that we, like, either they switch the numbers or that's it.
Oh, so
Yeah.
approved is 19, current is 4,000, proposed is another 17.
No, so it was reduced from 19 to 17, and 4,890 is so far been paid into it, is that correct?
Yeah, it's just a typo.
What, the 17.5 is?
No, the numbers are correct. It says actual cost higher than projected.
Oh,
It should be
okay.
lower. It should be lower.
Okay.
It's the same in wastewater and
In
water.
the water.
Okay.
It took us a minute to get there.
I'm
We
like,
studied these.
numbers are right.
Yeah, I would say like either you switch the numbers.
So
or
every-
just that thing.
Yeah, it's
Every
supposed to-
one of these were gone through, and everyone was looked at based on the performance. The healthcare, the retirement, and the other liabilities and payroll are the ones that we're continuously trying to make correct, and it has a lot to do with our payroll and then rates and things like that. So, it's been brought down, and it should be, well, based on performance, where we need to be, so it'll be within budget, we're not gonna be over.
I have a question on page 4 or 5, Fund 50, water, utilities, electric, that's object number 381. We're proposing to raise it about $20,000. Is that just from the water costs for running the pumps? So it's,
Well, that particular line item is only for electricity, so that we're running the pumps more. So it's eating up a little bit, and the cost of electricity has gone up a little bit.
Right.
Now that we're in winter time, it should actually be going down a little bit, but we're still projected to exceed what we started at.
Does that change the fact, if I'm not mistaken, PG&E is considering another utility electricity rate increase?
This particular number does not include that, but you never know with PG&E, so whatever the CPUC allows them to do, they're just gonna do, I guess.
And we consider solar?
We don't have enough space to do solar at our wells. We have, over the years, we've talked about doing solar, like solar farms to kind of offset our general use, because we are combined into one bill.
The elk will just come and kick it over.
12th Street property.
Yeah, put on 12th Street parking. So that is still an option. And as part of the treatment plan, we might be able to do something else to help offset our costs.
Okay.
But it's just a matter of, the scale and whether or not we're actually getting a return on it.
Would we, if we did that, can we put the whole district on a one bill with PG&E?
So we have two bills right now. One is lighting and one is our general use. So each site is listed individually, but it is on one bill. So if we were to put in a solar farm, we would be able to offset our use through that bill, as long as it was at one of those sites.
Well, I guess where I'm going with that is that I put solar in at my house. So essentially, now that we're on solar, obviously we're not generating, we're pulling from the grid. And we're generating, we're pulling from the panels, and the excess is going to the grid. So I don't have a bill with PG&E for a year. So I'm getting billed once a year. So if I've generated more, I'll get some wholesale credit for whatever overage I've generated, or I'll have a small bill for whatever I used that was short of what I generated.
And that's what we have here. The fire station has solar, so we get a bill, we get a true-up bill.
So can we put the whole district on that system?
So we
have
can-
more.
So if we put, let's say we put a solar farm at the treatment plant.